answer is yes. It's actually super cool and very helpful, a lot of the stuff that you can do. So, I mean, I've been playing around with AI for a while now, not just for like, because I try to use it for a lot of like business stuff and blah, blah, blah. But I also try to play around with it as a person who's trying to lose fat and just using it for my own, you know, uh, different ways of trying to use it and see what it can do. So the short answer is yes. Now, what are some of the stuff or what are some of the things that I would use it for or recommend it? Um, it is getting it is pretty accurate at, if you take a picture and then you ask it like, "Hey, what's the macros for this? What's the calories for this?" So that you can input it into your MyFitnessPal or your Macro Factor. Like I always like Macro Factor. I used MyFitnessPal for, I don't know, 13 years, but I've been using Macro Factor for like the last two or three. But yeah, so like you take a picture and then you describe it as much as you can, or as best you can, and it will get pretty good numbers. And so this is something that I used to work with clients on where I would be like, hey, if you're in a situation where you don't know how to track something, just send me a picture. And then we call that game tape review, where we can go over it, whether in the moment or another time, it doesn't matter. But the point is you would start to learn how a person can quickly track pretty much anything. And so, I test it. Like I've been like I'm very good at looking at a picture of food and guessing the calories. Um, so it's very good at that. Especially if you give it even a little bit of context, like it can get very, very close. And more importantly, like it doesn't really matter for that it's perfect on the dot, because the problem that people run into is not that they're off by 50 calories or 100 calories. The problem is that they have no ceiling on how many calories that they're eating, and they have no idea, like, you know if they don't know or if they don't try to track it, or assign a value to those calories, then what ends up happening is you just kind of like it's just open. Like you end up consuming, you know, 1,500 calories worth of whatever, when if you would have just kind of guessed and been like, okay, that looks like 500 calories, whatever. Now you're putting a ceiling, right? And now that's assigned to it. So that's very, very valuable and very important. So that's one of the very simple things that a lot of my clients have been using it for. I use it even just to play around with that, and to get like a second opinion of like what I think a certain meal might be. Other things like training. So you can give it one of the things I really like is like, let's say you ask it to design a program for you and you tell it as much context as you can. I'm a big fan of talking to the AI versus like typing things out. I don't know, personal preference. So I'll just start rambling. Like if I'm trying to build a program for myself, right? I'll be like, okay, so this is the equipment I have. This is the time I have. This is the preference that I would like to work out. Like I want to work out 4 days a week and I only want to work out for 20 minutes. I want to focus on my upper body looking better. Um, and you can tell it like, hey, these are the injuries that I have. So the more you just speak and give as much context as possible, the better the program is. And I want to remind you, like at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what program you do as far as training goes, as long as you're doing something. As long as you're doing something, it will be good. Okay. So I like that. And then, you can even this requires a little bit of like knowledge yourself, but like you could give it preferences of like, I want a two set program. and I want to do, compound lifts only. Like that's getting a little bit more nuanced and detailed, but like you could do that. So like I'll even play around with that kind of stuff of like I want to develop a program, but I'll just tell it everything that I want and all this. Obviously, like I know a lot more than the average person about training. So it will put together a pretty damn good custom program based on that. Now, here's the thing that AI can't do for you. And I was gonna say like this is where a coach comes into play, but at the end of the day, it is still going to be up to you to do the stuff. And even with like coaches, I've been a coach for I don't know, 14 years, almost 15 years. And the thing that like I really deeply care about my people getting the result. And like, but at the end of the day, I can't make them go into the kitchen and make the food. I can't make them make a choice of, not tracking versus tracking. So that's a part that it cannot help you with. Yeah, you can talk to it and like share your thoughts of like why you're struggling XYZ, but you know, you could do that with a coach as well. But again, the coach has to be skilled enough it becomes way more about understanding the human being that you're talking to. Now I'm speaking as a coach. I try to really listen and understand the person. What is going on in your life? What is your work life like? What is your family life? What are the stresses you have? How are these things contributing to you being out of shape or not doing the stuff that you want to do? So those things, maybe one day like it could be really good at that. I don't I'm I would not put that out of the realm of possibility. But like that's something that tooting my own horn, but like I'm very good at that. And I care really, really deeply to hear like it's not just like, oh, this client didn't track their calories. So like, oh, bro, you got to just track your calories. Like there's a reason why they're not tracking their calories. Or maybe it's, this lady is like she wants to really lose fat and like she's been trying for years and years. What is preventing this person, this woman from not doing something for her? So these are like things that currently I don't think that AI, I do not think I don't think it can do yet. So, but the point is, and I'll summarize this real quick, but like my main point with all this is like AI can do a lot of amazing things and make a lot of things easier for you if you are willing to spend the time to play around with it, engage with it, and then take whatever it is from those conversations and then go and do them. So yeah, like I think it's a great tool. I think, you should use it, you should try it out. Um, and what else did I do? So like I asked it, I was like, hey, I want to increase my endurance and conditioning. Like I don't want to get tired as easily. And the program that I put together was pretty good. And then the initial program, I was like, I don't want to spend, you know, a lot of time on this. I want to spend as minimal time as possible while still getting the result. So it adjusted that. And as a coach, I was like, oh yeah, these are pretty solid. So I'll have more thoughts on this as I play around with it. I'm making some stuff with it as well. Like this requires a little bit more skill, but like I'm making some programs that I think that I would want for myself and for like what I think a client needs to make this whole thing easier. But yeah, I think it's a great tool, and I gotta go back to work.